Hi, I'm Jacob, and this is my wife Hannah, and we want to thank you for taking a few minutes to watch this video, and we hope that it will be an encouragement to you and a help. We are definitely not vlogging people, and we're not YouTube people, but there are several channels that we like to watch, mostly homesteading channels and minimalism, things like that. A lot of great couples, great families out there that we like to watch and that we get a lot of encouragement from and things like that. And so a while back there were several of these channels that got together and did a collaboration on their debt-free journey. And so we thought that we would jump in and I guess do the same thing and talk about our debt-free journey, which is a little different from most people's, but I'll actually put in the description the link to these different channels and videos so that you can watch them, because they're really good stuff. Ours is a little different. Our journey is a little different from most because we've actually never been in debt, and as far as in our marriage, and so we've been very blessed. But we just want to let you know that it really has very little to do with having a high-paying job. It has very little to do with having the benefits of being born into a wealthy family and things like that, because I've really never had either. So I was not born into a wealthy family, and you know, never really had just an enormously high-paying job. But we just want to let you know that that you can do it. It can be done. So if you're a young person or a young married couple or a young couple who's looking to get married, the general mentality in America is that you have to go into debt to buy a house and buy a car and buy all these things. They're so expensive that you just have to. You can't do it any other way. But we want to let you know that you don't necessarily have to do it. It doesn't have to be that way. You can be the abnormal person who doesn't do things the way the rest of the world does. We've had a lot of influences in our life through the years, some good, some not so good, but we are very blessed and thank the Lord that He has put some people in our lives down through the years that have really helped us and given us some good wisdom when it comes to finances. We are both pretty big proponents of Dave Ramsey. Whenever Hannah was still in school, she homeschooled, and we were in a courtship. We were working towards getting married, and Hannah actually finished up her last year of school, high school early so that we could go ahead and get married. And during that last year, we were getting to know each other. I was getting to know her family, going over to their house every week. You know how that is. And I would actually sit through the classes at night with her and her family and watch the videos. She would do all the bookwork and I would watch the videos with them, which I really enjoyed, watching Dave Ramsey's homeschool curriculum. I was already a pretty big fan of Dave Ramsey. I had read his books and knew a lot about him and had already started doing a lot of his principles. Matter of fact, before that, earlier in my early 20s, late teens, I had already gotten myself out of debt. I had a little bit of debt here and there, student loan, car, things like that, and I went ahead and just paid all that stuff off as quick as I could and never got back into debt. And a lot of that has to do with the principles of Dave Ramsey that I kind of was turned on to. And so if you've not looked at his stuff, I really recommend it. Really great stuff, and it will really help you and be a blessing to you. I'll link to his channel here in the description as well, so that you can take a look at some of Dave Ramsey's material. Another thing that really helped us was many years ago, I was looking to go to Bible college, and me and my family, this was years before I ever even met Hannah, and me and my family had gone to visit a Bible college, which I didn't actually wind up going to this place, but something happened there that stuck with me. And what happened was a gentleman was showing us around the Bible college and telling us about it, and while we were there talking to him, he said something that really stuck with me really the rest of my life. And what he told us was that if a young man comes to the Bible college and is going to propose to a young lady in the college or in the church there, that they ask that young man have at least $5,000 in savings before he asks that girl to marry her and pursue a marriage with her, just to help alleviate a lot of the financial stress in an already stressful situation when you're in a young marriage, trying to get to know each other, and you're making all the adjustments of going from being single to being married. And so I kind of took that principle And that just stuck with me the rest of my life. And I decided, made up my mind that I was going to, with the help of the Lord, have $5,000 in savings before I ever got married.
And ironically, when we got married, that's about how much I had in savings too, which I feel like was a big blessing for our marriage, and as a stay-at-home wife, not putting that extra burden on him, and especially those, you know, a new home, new expenses, new things pop up quite frequently that we don't have, that we need. And so it was nice to have my own money that I had saved that wasn't in the budget, to not put extra strain on him. And so that was,
matter of fact, if I remember right, for a long time we actually just kind of lived off that money that you had in savings.
Right.
And everything I made from working basically just went into the bank. I mean, basically, and we just kind of lived. We bought groceries and things like that off what she had in savings. Then of course I had some money saved too, and so it just really was a great blessing. We never, I can't think of a time ever since I've been married that I've laid in bed at night and wondered how we were going to pay our bills. And it's not because I've had big high-paying jobs, you know, or anything like that. It's simply because number one, the Lord's blessed us, and then number two, we've never gone into debt. And so that was a great help to us, having that money saved. I believe that a young man, if he's going to get married, if he's going to marry a wife and have a family, he needs to be prepared. He needs to prepare himself. And there's a lot of ways to prepare himself, but one of them is certainly financially. And so let me encourage you young men to, you know, get prepared, save money, get yourself out of debt, and, you know, get some stability in your life in terms of finances, you know, before you pursue a marriage, because you are going to be the provider of that home. And so you want to know that you're doing a good job and that your wife isn't worried and concerned about how y'all are going to pay your bills. And so that was a great help to us, for sure.
As a wife, definitely preparing to not go overboard spending and live on a budget, and live within reason of your means. And so learning early, before you're married, how to live conservatively is definitely a big proponent of being a good wife and being wise with your money beforehand.
For sure. So having some money in savings was a great blessing to us. Dave Ramsey's principles have been a great blessing to us. And then certainly the Bible. The Word of God has a lot to say about finances. All through the book of Proverbs has a lot to say about finances and work and things like that. And so, you know, the borrower is slave to the lender. And I kind of just applied that to my life. I never wanted to be a slave to anyone if I didn't have to be. And whenever you go into debt, you voluntarily put yourself into slavery until that debt is paid. And so that is a big reason why we just don't even entertain the possibility of going into debt. If we don't have the money for it, we don't buy it. And that's just the way we live. And so I guess the way we did it is just that. We just buy what we afford. We don't have new vehicles, have never had new vehicles. And matter of fact, from an investment perspective, I will never have a new vehicle unless I'm a millionaire and just have more money than I know what to do with, which will never happen, by the way. And so new vehicles lose on average 60% of their value within the first 2 years. And so that was another principle I made my mind up, that I would never buy a vehicle that was any newer than at least 2 years old, because that's when they lose the majority of their depreciation.
It's just not a very logical and wise way to spend our money.
Yeah, so we want to be wise and be good stewards. And so, you know, we've never had new vehicles, we've never bought you know, a new house or anything like that. And so we just simply only buy what we afford. And so we've been very blessed that we've come into our marriage with no debt, and you know, we thank the Lord for that. So as far as how we stay out of debt, though, that's another story, and that's kind of what we really want to get to the most, because that's really the biggest part of our journey, so to speak, is how we actually stay out of debt. And so really what it all comes down to is not a big high paying job. Again, I've never had just a real huge paying job. You know, I've had good jobs through the years, and you know, I've been blessed in that, and thank the Lord for it. But you know, it's not about how much money you make. I actually worked at a finance company for a very brief time whenever I was just coming out of college and needing some work. And in that brief time, I saw people coming through a finance company to get $1,000 and less loans. People who were making several $100,000s a year, and they, you know, when you make a lot of money, most people find a way to spend all of it. Mom had to get the baby. Little brother just woke up from his nap. Okay, well, we cut our expenses, and we also live on a budget. So we've been very disciplined, or try to be very disciplined with our money, and not just go out and spend. We try to make sure every dollar that comes through has got a name and got a place, and we know where it's going before it ever even gets here. At the beginning of the month, all of our money is already spent. We know where it's going and what we're going to do with it. And that really helps a lot. So if you don't have a budget will really help you to sit down and figure out where all of your dollars are going before the month ever gets here. So we also live very frugally, and we do a lot to help cut expenses and live very frugal. First of all, you know, we don't have a TV, and so we're on the run all the time, and so we really don't have the chance to watch much TV anyways. But anyways, so we don't have cable bills and things like that. We also are certainly not above shopping at thrift stores and Goodwill. We don't have to have name brand clothes, and you know, we're satisfied with that. We're okay with that, and it's more important to us to stay debt free and be able to have a, you know, comfortable life, be able to be together and be with our family. So we also buy used cars. I know I've mentioned that. None of our cars are new, and if we wreck a car or lose a car, we will go out and we'll just buy a car we can afford. We won't go buy a new car, so we'll just buy what we can afford. And we also buy in bulk when things are on sale, you know, to help with that, things that we can buy in bulk. We also try to upcycle a lot of times. We actually have a love seat that Hannah picked up off the side of the road back whenever we first got married, and we still use it now. And she just picked it up off the side of the road and put a slipcover on it, and we still use it today. Our couch was given to us. Most all of our furniture was either given to us or we bought off Craigslist or used from a friend. So we have no problem with doing that. We actually enjoy doing that, taking old things that someone else is going to throw away or doesn't want anymore, and you know, cleaning it up and making something nice, painting it or something like that.
Getting a good bargain is definitely a thrill for both of us.
Oh yeah, big time, big time. So another thing that we have done in our marriage, we have two beautiful, healthy, wonderful baby boys. And this one just woke up. The older one, Gideon, is still asleep in taking his nap. But we also do home birth. And so home birth, we don't do it. There's many more reasons beyond just the money part of it, but that is also part of it. Home birth on average is 1/6 the cost of a hospital birth. And so, I mean, that's not really the reason that we do home birth, but at the same time,
it's an added perk for sure.
We've saved a lot of money doing home births. And so we use a lady by the name of Miss Rebecca Merrick. She is over near Birmingham, Alabama, and I will actually link to her Facebook page in the description. And if you have considered doing home birth, I definitely recommend getting in touch with her. She's great, she's wonderful, and she would really be a blessing to you. And answer any questions if you have any, just thought about it, have any questions about it, she'd be able to really help you. And she's really been wonderful for us. So home birth, I even cut my own hair. I was actually doing the math a few minutes ago. I've been cutting my own hair for going on 10 years now, and I've saved just in doing some rough math, I've saved close to $5,000 in these years by just cutting my own hair instead of going to a barber. And so there's a lot of ways that you can cut and keep from spending money, because that's what it comes down to. It doesn't come down to how much you make as much as it does come down to just spending less and making sure what you have going out is less than what you have coming in. And the truth is, a lot of people can live off of a lot less than what most people realize they can. I know that we can. We've been able to live on a lot less than what I ever thought we could at different times. And so there's great benefits to being able to be debt free. Again, it comes down to discipline, contentment. If you're not disciplined and won't discipline yourself, and if you're not content with what you have, you're just not going to be able to stay debt free. It's just the way it is. You've got to be disciplined, and you've got to be content with what you have. But if you can discipline yourself and be content with what you have, there's a lot of great benefits. I know for us, one of the great benefits has been that Hannah has been able to stay home, and we never wanted her to be able to have to go out and work a secular job. We've always wanted her at home, and so thank the Lord, since we've been married, she's stayed at home. She's with our boys. We'll homeschool our children whenever they get homeschool age, and so she'll be the one doing that. She'll be the one indoctrinating them and teaching them and raising them, and she takes care of me and takes care of our home, and it's a wonderful, wonderful blessing and benefit to being debt free. Also, another benefit is the fact that now that I am pastoring a church, we have a small congregation, but I'm able to be a full-time pastor. I don't have to be bivocational and work a job along with pastoring. And so even with a small congregation, I'm able to be full-time and devote all of my attention to my ministry, and I really thank the Lord for that. It's been a great blessing. Also, through the years, back before I was pastoring, we had some freedom and liberty to do some things that we really wanted to do, that we didn't need to do, but we wanted to do. But because we were debt-free, we were able to do them. We took a pretty big trip right before we had children to Ireland. Spent 8 days in Ireland, and it was incredible. And we wanted to go take a trip and go out of the country before we had children, and weren't really able to, or it would be a lot harder to anyways. And so because we've saved our money and lived very frugally and not had a lot of debt to worry about, we were able to go do that and enjoy it.
Lots of other small trips and just nice
trips.
Quality things because
sure.
of what we've been able to save and not consume in debt, really.
For sure. And really being frugal and cutting expenses even goes hand in hand with these trips too, because a lot of the trips that we've been on have been relatively inexpensive trips, because we don't just go on these trips and blow a ton of money while we're on these trips. I mean, it's just a lifestyle, and we carry it with us everywhere we go. So even when we go on these trips, I mean, we're constantly thinking about how much we're spending here and there and everywhere. Here, just this past November, we took a trip to Gatlinburg, to the mountains, and we shared a meal every time we ate. We just bought one meal and we both ate off of it and still had leftovers a lot of time. But it's just things like that it's just a lifestyle. We're always thinking about it, and it's always on our mind. And so again, it's just a lifestyle thing, and it's a team effort. It's something that we have to do together. And it's not one or the other, it's both of us. I am the provider of the home, and so I've always tried to work hard and do what I can to earn a living for my family. And what money I have brought home through the years, Hannah tries to make it go as far as humanly possible. So she is always looking for sales, looking for deals, clipping coupons, being frugal. She's had a garden many different times in our marriage, and so we've grown a lot of what we've eaten, and just many things like that. And so it's been a great blessing though, and it's brought us closer together. And I don't feel like we've really, even though we have, I guess, done without a lot of things, I don't feel like we've done anything, because we've got each other. And that's really the most important thing to us, is that we have peace and we have each other. And I will do without many things if I can be with my family, and we can have each other and have peace, and not have the stress of keeping up with what everyone else has got. And so we just wanted this to be an encouragement and a help to you and a blessing to you, and just let you know that it can be done. We're just normal people. We're very average people. I don't make a lot of money, and that's not what it's about. It's not about making a lot of money. It's just about choices. And I want to let you know that if you are in debt now and you do have debt, you can get out of it. Again, I would recommend checking out Dave Ramsey, his debt snowball and things like that. A lot of great stuff. You can get out of debt, and you don't have to live your life in debt and a slave to a payment every month. So before we go to, if you have any questions or comments, anything that we can help with, feel free to let us know. Send us a message or comment, and we will be sure to answer any questions that we can and do whatever we can to help and be a blessing to you. And you know, if you're wanting to get out of debt, I've been there. I've had debt before we were married, and so I know what it is to work on getting out of debt. Be glad to help answer any questions as far as that goes. If you have any questions about how to stay out of debt, things like that, things that we do or don't do, feel free to let us know. We'd be glad to help any way that we can.